Welcome to Master Your Lifestyle, and I hope you're ready to think beyond your taste buds. I'm a weight loss doc and a lifestyle physician. Now, according to one of the surveys, 70% of the medical students entering med school think that the topic of nutrition is important. But when these medical students graduate, less than half of them think that it was clinically relevant. And only 17% of those who actually practice think that they were adequately trained on the topic of nutrition to counsel their patients about it. I had the privilege of recently being interviewed by one of our very talented medical students who also happens to be my niece. And she has her own YouTube channel and does podcast. I'll leave her link down below. Please go and check it out. And I'll be sharing that video with you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the awareness.
Hey, welcome. This is episode 22. In this episode, I have the pleasure of interviewing my aunt. She is a bariatric and certified lifestyle physician, and she is joining us today to talk about conventional versus traditional medicine and teaching all of us how to live healthier lives. Thank you so much for coming on to my podcast and YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Kinza. Thanks for having me.
So my aunt also has her own YouTube channel. It's called Master Your Lifestyle. She just started it. She is sharing tips on, oh my God, I can't talk. She is sharing tips on how to live a healthier life. And since she's a physician, she's giving advice that is evidence-based, which is very important. So I will put her link in the description box if you guys want to go check it out. I would highly encourage you to. All right, so our first question for you today is, what differentiates lifestyle medicine from conventional medicine?
So lifestyle medicine, actually, the main difference is that, it's a practice that is evidence-based, and it tends to basically adopt the principles which tend to prevent, cure, and treat the disease so that it can promote health and prevent disease. The management in case of lifestyle medicine is patient-centered, whereas in case of the conventional medicine, it is more physician-centered. So that is basically the main difference between the two.
Okay, so my next question for you is, we are all always trying to live healthier lives. It's probably in the back of our minds. We want to exercise more, we want to have healthier diets, but what is one simple lifestyle advice you could give to our listeners today that they can start incorporating tomorrow?
Great question, Kinza. So when we talk about lifestyle principles, there are a few things that we want to keep in mind. Some of the principles that I want to mention, number one is the motivation.
Okay.
Number two is the confidence level. Mm-hmm. And number three is the importance of that behavior. So that actually varies from person to person. Mm-hmm. So, first we evaluate the motivation, and then we see how confident that person is, and then we go to, how the importance of that behavior changes. Okay. So, it's going to vary from person to person. Yeah. And just like I said, so it would be, it's going to just depend on what behavior a particular person, wants to adopt based on the importance, based on their motivation, and based on their confidence level.
So say you have someone come into your office and they need to lose weight, and they don't exercise often because they don't like going to the gym, and it's hard for them to change their diet because they've been eating unhealthy foods, whether it's fast food, and even a better scenario. So what if they are financially marginalized and they can't afford to eat healthier foods? How would you send them home? You only have like 20 minutes in the office with them, right? So how do you send them home with advice that could start changing their life, something that they can incorporate the next morning?
Great question again. There's one thing that we evaluate, incorporating the principles of lifestyle medicine, and that is assessing their readiness for change, that which stage of change they're in. Either they are in the preparation phase or they are in the pre-contemplative phase, they're in the contemplative phase, they're in action phase, or maintenance phase. So these are actually the 5 stages of change. So if they are in a stage, in a pre-contemplative stage, which means that they are, they don't even, not even thinking about it. They are coming to see me because someone has mentioned it to them. Maybe it's their spouse or their, someone in the family has asked them to go and see us. In that scenario, anything you tell them, it's not going to change.
Okay.
So what I tell them is that, whenever you're ready, we are here to help you, and just get in touch with us. And there are great resources we can offer. So, but it has to come from the patient.
Yeah, that's very true. You can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink from that water.
Absolutely.
So I guess the first thing would be fixing your mindset. If you're a listener right now and you have changes you want to incorporate to live a healthier life, I would self-reflect upon it so that you can find that motivation within yourself to actually start changing your life.
Great. Yes, absolutely.
So my next question for you is, what's one healthy diet change that you recommend to your patients?
So, again, it varies from person to person, depending which stage of, change they're at. The lifestyle medicine principles, they include, eating a healthy plant-based diet, whole food plant-based diet.
Okay.
So this is something that I recommend to the patients. It's very hard for these patients to completely, transition from a non-vegetarian diet to a plant-based diet. So, slow and steady is something that we recommend. Increasing the intake of fruits if they are not, consuming fruits. But if they are, the quality of fruit that they are consuming, go more for berries. Then again, the vegetables. If they are not familiar, they're not familiar with the vegetables, then gradually increase their intake of vegetables. And if they are already, consuming, then the quality of vegetables, that in terms of, more green leafy vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, and, increasing the number of servings a day. So it kind of, again, varies from person to person, depending on their dietary habits.
Yeah, so definitely a slow adjustment. Start replacing things that are currently bad for you with healthier alternatives, but not all at once.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and that is something that is very important to make, first of all, ask them about their vision and where they see themselves, and, set goals, and then, work on those goals on weekly basis. The goals that we tell them, they're called SMART goals.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Goals, they have to be, simple, easy goals that are achievable. And if you are going to set goals that are very difficult, that's basically a setup for failure as well.
Yeah, that's very
Because
true.
it's hard to achieve, and then you get discouraged, and it's not very encouraging. So this is something we tell the patients that start from, kind of baby steps, and then move from there.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. Like, you don't want to put down, tomorrow my goal is to be vegetarian or vegan, because that's so hard to do. Like, you have so many things to first work through before you can get to that stage. And I think mindset is probably the biggest thing and the longest thing to work on. So definitely, that's great advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So my next question for you is more about motivation. So I've noticed, over the past 2 years, you have changed your lifestyle, you've changed your diet. What was your motivation, and how do you motivate others who need to start changing theirs?
Yeah, so for me, I've been a physician for almost 2 decades now, and never during my training as a student or in my residency, I was told to pay attention to my health, self-care. Kinza, there was a study that was done in 2009 in California, and the study, actually, they did a survey on these physicians, and they found that 53% of these physicians, they are stressed. 35% of the physicians, they don't exercise. Almost 34% of the physicians, they don't get enough time to sleep.
Wow.
And 27% of the physicians, they don't even eat breakfast.
That's a large statistic.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I saw these statistics, I was like, I don't want to be one of those. And the main motivation for me, it was an internal motivation, because I was I never felt contented with my, traditional practice or the conventional medicine that I was practicing. So I just, I kept on looking for something different and kept on looking for something different. And then, when I looked at, the loved ones around me, with a poor quality of life and who could be healthier, the other loved ones who lost their lives to, dietary related diseases, hypertension, diabetes. And, I always used to tell myself that when I get to that age, I don't want to have all these diseases.
Yeah.
So that was my, external motivation. And that's basically what has brought me, to this day.
No, that's a really good motivation to have. Like, you care so much about your patients that you don't want to fall into that 34% statistic where physicians aren't exercising.
Oh, absolutely. And then they have also done studies, and they have noticed that the physicians who are actually practicing, the lifestyle skills, and they're taking care of themselves, they actually counsel more their patients about, eating healthy, exercising more, stress management, avoidance of the risky behavior. Yeah. So it's definitely, helpful.
Yeah, and when you're actually doing those things, it's a lot easier to try to convince others to do it too, because you're more passionate about it. You actually believe in it if you practice it.
Absolutely.
My next question for you is, what is a good way to track calorie deficit? So I've been learning that that's the best way to lose weight, and I struggle with tracking my food. So I tried using my fitness planner. I think that's what the app is called, and I just couldn't remember every day to track my food. I actually wanted to go into a calorie overload. But for people who want to lose weight, how can they track that? How do they track their calories?
Yeah, great question again. MyFitnessPal is a great tool to logging the food. And, this is one thing that we tell our patients to log food because it acts as a self-monitoring tool. And that has been shown to be the biggest factor in maintaining their weight. So for the patients who are actually, in actively losing weight, yes, you have to keep track of the log.
Okay.
But there are different reminders that are there. There are apps that have built-in reminders. So use those reminders. You can put reminders in the phone. And the other thing is that you have to kind of build that level where the fact that you want to lose weight, that is so important to you, that's your priority. So if something becomes important,
on your mind.
So if something becomes important, then you kind of try to get engaged in it as well. So, and the way to do that would be to just, read about health-related topics, go to the different health-related websites and, be around the company of people who are health conscious as well.
That's true. Your friends, if they want to also do these things, it's going to be a constant reminder for you to do it, and you can kind of build your support system that way too.
Right, and then your taste buds, they tend to change over time.
Really?
Yeah, so instead of craving for ice cream, you probably will be craving for broccoli or other healthy foods. So
ice cream is one that I still need to get over. I still crave for ice cream.
You'll be there soon.
I hope so. Yeah. All right, so my last question for you is, what is one piece of advice that you want to leave with our listeners with today? Something that kind of changed your life in a way that it impacted you enough that you still, live by it.
Yeah, sure. So, one advice that I would like to share and that has really helped me is to be optimistic in life. Always look at the glass half full. I used to look at it half empty, but ever since I have started looking at it as half full, I have noticed that I have developed more gratitude for the things that I have.
Oh, that's really nice.
And not just, the gratitude, you kind of want to give more to people. You have that, random act of kindness.
Yeah.
And guess what, Kinza? All these acts, they actually release all these happy hormones like dopamine, serotonin. And so that's basically a kind of a secret to a happy life, I should say.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice.
Thank you so much.
I feel like we are always so stressed about stuff. I'm even stressed filming this a little bit because I'm like, it needs to go well, or I'm a little tense right now. But I think being more grateful, being more relaxed is the key to living
Absolutely.
a happier life.
Yeah, and one other thing that I wanted to add is that, we should always be contented with the past, happy with our present, and
Yeah.
hopeful about our future.
I like that. Yeah, very well said. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing.
welcome. My pleasure.
It was so nice to have you on my YouTube channel. I haven't had a chance to bring family on here, so this is a really special moment, and I will cherish this video. I hope to have you on more.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can think of a fun YouTube idea for next time.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was great to have you on here.
Thank you so much for having me. My pleasure, Kinza.
Of course. Again, her YouTube is Master Your Lifestyle. All the links are down below in the description box. If you've enjoyed the podcast, make sure you guys hit subscribe. I release episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also, if you guys have learned one little thing, I would really appreciate it if you guys could leave a rating and review. It means a lot to me, and I read them all. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.